Hi everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about permanent tissue part 5 under this complex tissue phloem. Phloem. The term phloem is coined by the scientist Nageli. The main function of the phloem is to conduct food materials usually from the leaf to other plant parts. Example, storage organ and growing regions. On the basis of origin, phloem is classified into two categories, primary phloem and secondary phloem. Primary phloem originates from procambium and secondary phloem originates from vascular cambium. On the basis of development of primary phloem, categorized into two types, protophloem and metaphloem. The protophloem has narrow sieve tubes, whereas metaphloem has bigger sieve tubes. Here you have to remember one thing. Protophloem is first formed phloem, metaphloem is next formed phloem. Phloem remains active for less duration as compared to xylem. Phloem consists of four different types of cells such as number 1 sieve cell or sieve tube, number 2 companion cells, number 3 Phloem Parenchyma, number 4 phloem fibers. Phloem consists of four types of cells. Number 1 sieve cells or sieve tubes, number 2 companion cells, number 3 Phloem Parenchyma, number 4 phloem fibers. Among these, sieve cell or sieve tube, companion cells, phloem parenchyma are living tissue, phloem fibers are dead tissue. Now, the very first one is sieve cells or sieve tubes, which are collectively called sieve elements. Sieve cells are present in gymnosperms and sieve tubes are present in angiosperms and pteridophytes. Sieve elements was discovered by Hartig. Central vacuole is present in each sieve cells or sieve tube element. Sieve plate, oblique transverse perforated septa is present between the two sieve tube elements. Materials are transported through these pores. Sieve cell or sieve tube element are living and thin walled. Here you have to remember sieve cells and sieve tubes are collectively called sieve elements. In those, sieve cells are present in gymnosperms and sieve tubes are present in angiosperms and pteridophytes. And one more thing you have to remember, sieve cell or sieve tube both are living and thin walled. Sieve element contains special type of protein which is called P protein. P in the sense phloem protein. In gymnosperms and pteridophytes, sieve cells are arranged irregularly. Sieve cells have sieve plates and their lateral walls. Thus, conduction of food takes place in zig-zag manner. Mature sieve tube elements are enucleated living cells. In angiospermic plants, sieve tube elements are arranged with their ends and form sieve tube. Callose deposited on the radius of pores during dropping season, which means autumn season of leaves. To form thick layer, this is called callus pad. Sieve plate is protected by callus pad. It is also prevented from bacterial infection and drought conditions. Callose dissolves during spring season by Callase enzyme. In angiospermic plants, food conduction is erect and efficient. Checkpoint. Food conduction is bidirectional in sieve tube. Sieve tube is an example of living enucleated syncyte. Most likely function of P protein is sealing mechanism on wounding. Second type, companion cells. The companion cells are specialized parenchyma cells which are closely associated with sieve tube elements. The sieve tube elements and companion cells are connected by pit fields present between their common longitudinal walls. Sieve tube element and companion cells originates together. Both of them originates from single mother cell. That's why sieve tube elements and companion cells both together called as sister cells. Companion cells are only found in angiosperms, exception Astrobelia in angiosperm plant, but companion cells are absent. Companion cell maintain pressure gradient in sieve tube elements. Function of sieve tubes are regulated by companion cells only. Special type of cells attached with the sieve cells in gymnospermic plants and pteridophytes in place of companion cells. These cells are called as albuminous cells or Strasburger cells. These albuminous cells are analogous to companion cell. Remember, albuminous cells are present in gymnosperms and pteridophytes instead of companion cells. But these albuminous cells are analogous to companion cells. Number 3, phloem fibers. Fibers which are present in phloem are called bast fibers. These fibers are generally not found in primary phloem, only present in secondary phloem. These fibers provides mechanical support to the conducting tissue or conducting elements like sieve cells and sieve tube elements. Phloem fibers are bast fibers having economic importance. Fourth one, Phloem Parenchyma. It is also known as bast parenchyma. It is made up of elongated tapering cylindrical cells which have dense cytoplasm and nucleus and connected through plasmodesmata. Its cells are living and thin-walled. It store various materials, example resin, latex, mucilage, etc. The main function of phloem parenchyma is conduction of food material in radial direction and storage of food. The food conducting element of phloem is called leptom. Leptom term was proposed by the scientist Haberland. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of longitudinal section of phloem tissue. How all the four elements of phloem arranged in phloem tissue, like sieve tube elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Sieve tube element having sieve pores. Through that pores they transport food material. Let's see how sieve tube elements are associated with companion cells, how phloem parenchyma is arranged, sieve pores, everything. Let's check this diagram carefully for our better understanding. Note: hadrome or xylem. Tracheids and vessels are collectively known as water conducting elements or hadrome. Hadrome term given by Haberland. Leptom or phloem. The main food conducting element of phloem is called leptom. Leptom includes sieve cells and sieve tubes. Leptom term was given by Haberland only. Up to here, we completed the tissues under histology and anatomy, both meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Under permanent tissue, both simple tissues and complex tissues are completed. Thank you very much.